Hello, I'm Bookface, and welcome to another kind of specific video that kind of went off the rails. I say that even though I haven't recorded it yet, but I know it's going to go off the rails. The research went off the rails, which really says something considering it's just looking at books and taking in information. That's the weirdest way to describe reading ever. Now, in the world of mythology, there are a lot of Therianthropes, kinda, but mostly if you just kind of squint your eyes and try to look for them. And now, I would think of an intro for the rest of this, but instead, I'll just give you guys this rant I recorded shortly after research that left me tired and feeling slightly brain dead. Okay, recording this for posterity in my were-lion/African shapeshifter research. Okay, so here's the start. So, I know about were-lions from a book, one of my best sources, from like years ago. But I wasn't really content with the term were-lion, considering it's just a hybridization of lion and a werewolf. And so it really doesn't give enough description, like just because the Pishtico is a vampiric creature that eats fat doesn't mean fat vampire is an apt description. So I went looking for terms. Thankfully, I got a new book called The Werewolf Book, and it had next to nothing. And I was very frustrated because it had like half a page dedicated to it, and the small paragraph I got that just said were-lions are a thing was better informed. But it had the one term of some location, which I cannot even begin to remember the name of, and that was enough to get me on a research train. Choo-choo. Jeez. So I look up the area and see what their local legends are, and I find this random website, I don't know if it was a blog, I don't know what it was, that mentions a term Mbojo, I think. And I'm like, hallelujah. But since this random website with no sources or anything backing it isn't exactly what I'd consider reliable, I decided to do some more research. So jump into Google Books and see what I find. And wouldn't you know, I found this book. Told me not only about these were-lions thing, but also Mòkìlà, which is a
Now that would be telling, and I don't do spoilers.
Which I did not think was a thing, but also I think gave me some information on were-leopards, so that part's a little iffier. And it was very sparse. From there, I individually searched just about every term to find if it at least existed in another source. Maybe it wouldn't have more information, but it would at least give me a bit more confirmation it's a thing. And then I just go on the tiniest strands of information. Just specific groups, specific areas. Because the thing is, saying Africa isn't very descriptive in terms of location, because Africa is like, I'm pretty sure, if Africa isn't the biggest continent, I'm pretty sure it's the second biggest. So, it's pretty varied. So, I do all that work. I lose one of the terms somehow. I hope I'm able to find it again, but yeah, when I retyped it in later to do the full bits of research, it wasn't showing anything, so I'm gonna have to really look for that, because I really want to know what that is. Like, Wako Kohoko is at least what I wrote down. I feel like I can remember vaguely the actual spelling, and I made like a typo, but I can't find it, and now I'm just getting anime for some reason. Mind you, I'm pretty sure I did this for like 2 hours. I mean, obviously I took a break here and there, and I wasn't like hardcore researching for 2 straight hours. But I was doing a lot. I probably only took maybe a half an hour a break in that whole time. And I got a surprisingly high amount of information on the were. Got a couple names for like a were-lion or two. And I have some terms for were-leopards that I really need to look up. And also I found a murder cult. Needless to say, research is difficult. I'm very tired, and I don't really think I have anything conclusive. Like I said, it's all just posterity. I might take this down as notes and repeat it in a better situation. I am pacing around my living room, just angrily monologuing into my phone. I might just keep this. If this leads to a video in the future, this is the struggle I had to go through. It probably sounds simple compared to a lot of other work, but when it comes to researching, when it's hard to trust any of your resources and you don't know how to find anything, and you have to hook onto the tiniest little details to find something, it can be really difficult. Okay, that's enough complaining. Hopefully this becomes useful later so I didn't waste another 6 minutes just ranting. And with that something or other out of the way, let's jump right in. Woo! First up we have the Mbojo, which comes from the Turu people of Tanzania. They were thought to be witch doctors that could turn themselves into lions, and they were blamed for various unexplained deaths, though they were sometimes thought to be done by normal lions that were controlled by witch doctors instead. And no matter where you may be in the world, people always want to explain why people just randomly drop dead. Because to some people, it's a lot easier to accept a supernatural monster killing people than just the fact that any one of us could die at any moment. The inevitability of death. At least a were-lion looks cool. It was often believed that Mbojo were hired as assassins to kill a person's enemies. Basically, we got a supernatural hitman. And there have been some actual, legal trials that have had accusation of Mbojo assassins. But as far as I'm aware, no one has been charged for that. Your Honor, this man is a lion. Well, I'm convinced. Some, however, believe the Mbojo is simply people who learn to kill in a way that imitates a lion, or people who were convinced that they were lions through the use of drugs or some other means. And I don't know which is a more unnerving idea. An angry man with a knife that will make your death look like an accident caused by a lion mauling you to death, or somebody so drugged up that they think they are a lion and they kill you. Neither one of those sounds fun. I mean, there are very few fun ways to die. Well, some believe it to be a boogeyman figure of sorts, but to that I say, anything can be a boogeyman if you hate your children enough. Next we have the Irimu, which is also sometimes called the Irimu or Izimu. This creature came from Wachaga myth. It was believed a man could become an Irimu by breaking some sort of taboo. So, probably something like cannibalism, murder, putting the milk before the cereal, stuff like that. Sometimes it would appear as a man who had brambles growing out of his body until he's basically just a walking bush that eats people. Sometimes there are monsters hiding in the bush, sometimes the monsters are the bush. All I can say is be careful next time you see an oddly placed shrubbery. Just walking along, look around, and all of a sudden there's a bush behind you and you're like, hang on a second. And this form of Irimu could be cured by burning the bushes growing out of their body. Don't worry, I'm here to help. This shouldn't hurt at all. One particular story about an Irimu talks about one that got swept away in a river and then got turned into a banana tree on the shore. Okay. At some point, a child went up to that tree and took a banana and lost a finger in a sort of sympathetic magic kind of thing, I'm guessing. And that's what you get for eating bananas. Nerd. I don't know what I have against bananas. It was also sometimes seen as an ogre-like creature, but it was also sometimes seen as a form of were-leopard. Yep, halfway through my notes on this thing, and finally it fits the prompt given. It would sometimes take the form of a leopard with 10 tails, because it's fancy like that. And sometimes in these myths, it would arrive in the form of a human and present itself as a potential husband. See, this is why you can't watch The Bachelor. Somebody goes on The Bachelor. Unfortunately, the episode had to be canceled because, The Bachelor was actually a leopard. I know, embarrassing. We said this wouldn't happen again, but it's tricky. They're real sneaky. This is actually a common form of myth in Africa called the robber bridegroom, and to put it simply, it is supernatural catfishing. This form of Irimu could actually be caught if its new bride sees the back of its head where there is another mouth. Voldemort is near. Lastly, we have the Mòkìlà or Mòkìlà. I swear these words are trying to kill me. This creature comes from the Baka people of Cameroon. It is a possible form of were-elephant. Yeah, I was not expecting that one. I say possible because, like I said, Therianthrope is it's a lot looser of a term than one might think. Now, to the unaware, this creature would look indistinguishable from normal elephants, except it had the face and the body odor of a human. And look, I am certainly not an elephant expert, but if I saw an elephant with a human face, I feel like that'd be pretty noticeable. I would just have to look at it and say, that's a disturbingly uncanny valley elephant. That seems a little strange. I have to be honest, that seems a little tricky. Other than these unique features, it could also be identified from its tracks by the fact that they would be shallower and that they wouldn't be around other elephants. So Mòkìlà are lighter and Mòkìlà are very lonely. It was thought that killing a Mòkìlà elephant was murder since, it's actually a person. It is believed that when a Mòkìlà dies, it actually leaves two corpses, one human and one elephant, with the human one just kind of jumping out of the elephant, which is a bit of a funny image. You kill an elephant and all of a sudden there's a human corpse falling out of it, and what just happened? and sometimes this human body would go running to tell the others where it died and where to find the body. Hey, guys, do you go grab my other corpse for me? Is a big one. Some, however, think that when a Mòkìlà dies, it leaves a single human corpse. Which, I don't know if that's more or less confusing than the first one. Like, killing an animal and then having a human body jump out of it is very strange, but killing an animal only for it to immediately turn into a human body is also quite strange. Simple solution, don't kill elephants, jerk. It's illegal and immoral. Don't kill elephants. The Mòkìlà was sometimes known to kill people, but only hunters who killed other Mòkìlà. Victims of a Mòkìlà would have stab wounds similar to a knife. It's so weird, man. This elephant just shanked him repeatedly in the kidneys. It was crazy. Who thought the Mòkìlà would take women and children from villages and teach them the secrets of Mòkìlà shapeshifting, and then they would remain willingly. Welcome to the club. Sorry we kind of kidnapped you at first. We got cool elephant forms and completely inconspicuous knives. And there we have 3 African Therianthropes of sort. I think this video does a good job of explaining how the term Therianthrope is a little bit stretched. This was very fun research to do, and I learned some new things. Hopefully you did too. If you like this video, please leave a thumbs up, comment down below, and subscribe. If you have any ideas for weirdly specific video topics of obscure myth, let me know, because I love to learn new things. And I will see you next time. Bye.